You know what? I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot. Like, no, because, like, people around here, they'll rent to strangers over their own family because their own family don't pay rent. That's what happened to this place. That's how we got this place.
Say it again.
What? They'll rent to strangers because they won't rent to family because family members don't pay their rent.
Oh, they don't own it.
They don't pay their way.
They don't take care of their responsibilities.
Yeah, that's how we got this place. It says excellent condition, but it also says an error occurred. Please try again later. But it says so. I'll check my stream. They just fix if it's. I'll just talk like it's going. Don't want to waste no space, right? They just replaced the water pump in the well house out front. It's pretty cool. They had a big truck come in with like. Yeah, but the water pressure in the kitchen is still. But all the rest of them are. It's balanced out. At least it's not doing that. That's fun. Showers like that are fun. What the temperature gonna be? I don't know. Let's find out. Cause that freaking I took a picture of the pump. It was 35 years old.
Wow.
So I mean, it wasn't a functioning pump. Here's a picture of the pump. That's all rust. And that's the actual pump up top. Boop, right there. The pump assembly. So, that's cool. And then I got to meet the guy, the landlord, and he's been here since there's nothing here. He's been here his whole life. He's 65, 60. He's in his mid-60s, I'm guessing. Not to bust nobody out on their age or nothing. But this place, he owns all his property around here. So I'm like, think of me in a year and a half. And he's like, are you a veteran? Or he looked at my plate and he was like, are you a disabled veteran? And I was like, yeah. And then he gave me his card and he's like, I know people that will help you to get a loan. And they'll help you do all of it. They'll help you get your property and your land. They'll help you do all of it. So that's really freaking cool. That's really cool. That people, I had a good day. See, that's one of my life lessons was to get myself through this dark 4 years, you know, of battling my ego, you know, and my will and what God's will is for me. And once I freaking relented and just was like, okay, God, wherever you want me, just put us there. Just, you know, don't stress me out too much because I can't really take it, right? You know? And so he carried us through all that, and now we landed in this place that it's like all these doors are opening. I got to go up to a place called Pot Creek. So what I want to do ultimately one day is when Mom and I have our own place, you know, and have a place where people can just pull out the pallet and crash, you know, or we can put up a tent outside. No tent, just sleep under the stars. However you want to do it. I want people to come visit, and people like to come visit this area. So there's a lot of tourists around here. So maybe the local community would be less mad about me running my mouth about all the nonsense of their old ideas and how they're nil and how they waste money and there's enough for everybody and all that stuff. Because I'm on the Taos Facebook page. Just no more mask. I'm that one, you know. I'm just enough already. Get back to your lives, people, and get out and get healthy. The farmers market's starting in a few weeks. I think it'd be cool to start a little farm and then just have people come visit. And then I'm gonna put people to work. You can help me in the farm. You know, nothing too big and crazy because, you know, the people come and go. And I got to have stuff that I can maintain just myself, you know, if need be, right? So, I've been praying for just, you know, God, send me a buddy, send me a pal, somebody that can just show me around the local area, you know, and that, you know, that has kind of a life of leisure like me, right? And I found someone, you know. And he's even from Omaha. He's a little older than me. He's older than me by about 10 years, but he grew up in Omaha. His family grew up in the same neighborhood where I lived a house. You know? We both had DUIs on Offutt Air Force Base, only I was enlisted and he was just there for a wedding. So he was in a lot less trouble, I think, than I was. Anyway, and so we went out to this place called Pot Creek, and I posted a bunch of pictures over on Snapnax. See, that's what I do. Is Mom doesn't like going out so much, so I go out in the world and have my little 2-hour incremental adventures, 2 to 3 hours, and then I come home and I'm like, Mom, I did this and I went here and I took pictures of this and I did this and this and this and then that way she gets to live a very full life without leaving the comfort of her chair, you know, right? Kind of works out, right? One day I'm gonna drag her. I'm gonna make her come with me though, huh? Come on, Mom, we're going down to the creek. It's really so bouncy because this guy's lived here for years and years, you know. So he's taken me. He used to live up there with his family. It's how he knows about it.
He's still alive.
Yeah, you met him earlier today. Nice guy. So I got to meet one of his daughters today. Lovely girl, lovely kids, man. See the kids that are being born, like. See, I'm 47, and it's taken me 47 years to just figure stuff out, right? But kids are born just knowing. They just know. And this young woman, I don't know how old her age is. I don't know, which I'm guessing to be in her early 20s, mid 20s maybe. But she's just one of those that just know, you know, and that just have these special earthly gifts of healing. She, you know, her dad shared stories all day long about how she has these abilities, and more and more people are being open and receptive to these abilities, you know. This stuff ain't nonsense and bullshit crap no more, you know. People are figuring out all the stuff that they told us to believe in, like elections and stuff like that. That's the stuff that's nonsense, you know. It's all the woo-woo that's real. So go if you're on Instacrap. I don't think you have to have an account to look at pictures because they show a lot on mainstream media of that, and you can. And I'm Snapnax, one word, SNAP. I think I have a shortcut. I don't know what that one's linked to, that account, because I have like 3 Instagram accounts. But it's Snapnax, SNAPKNACKS, Snapnax. Because I got Snapnax. You know? So maybe my ideas happen. See, so if people come and visit, then I'll just grab my camera, and I just bought a few camera cards. So if I run into people, I'll just pop in my camera, fill it up, and then be like, here you go. You know, because I can take freaking 50 pictures in freaking 10 minutes, man. It ain't, I got Snapnax. So, and then I give them the camera card, and, you know, feel free to PayPal me whatever you think they're worth, and if you're ever in the area, just bring the camera card, and I'll do it again, you know. And I'll do that for weddings. I'll do that for freaking graduate. As soon as they decide to freaking de-fear and open and stop being control freaks and let people live their freaking lives, man. You know, it's kind of hoggy to freaking tell people that this is how they need to live their lives and be constructive members of society, and then you freaking renege and take their whole society away. Bunch of crap. I want to take a moment to thank Key for sharing me last night. She shares me, and it makes me feel good every time she does it. It does. To feel that support from people. See, because I felt more support from people that I've never met than anyone I've ever known. And I'm hoping other people are starting to open up, you know. And I found out all the cool places, because I just assumed, like, recycle and refurbished everything, and I found out where you can go to get carpet remnants, like whole carpet remnants, you know. It's pretty, you know. I'm learning all that. God is putting me in contact with people that I'm supposed to know, and I've been in isolation, and you know, people, a year this stuff has been going on, but. My journey of isolation started in 2016 when I moved to Oregon, so it's been a longer period for me. And it's been hard. Myers-Briggs, I'm an INFJ, so I'm an introvert extrovert. You know, I love people, but I need a lot of freaking time to recharge my batteries a lot because I'm one of those. I can't help. I take on people. I feel people's energy. I do. Hi, pretty lady. Is that Denise? Is she? No. No. That's Luna barking, but I don't know what she's barking at. So, what else is happening? Things are just lining up, you know. But see, the thing of it is I never get too. I mean, yeah, it's exciting and it's cool and stuff like that. But wherever something lines up over here, something over here is becoming unraveled. So it's always bittersweet for me. And it might not even be in my life, but it's in somebody's life because to me, that's how I see how balance works. You know? Does that make sense, Mom? So I gotta keep an even keel and not get, oh, everything's so crazy and wonderful and so, you know. That's why I say I dare say. That's why I said this talk. I dare say life is good today. I dare say. Because for so long it was just freaking. I just whenever I need to take pause, sometimes I focus on just what it was like when we were in Arizona, and I was completely powerless, and I was just like, okay, God, you take it because I can't do it. I mean, when all the dogs were outside and I would just listen to the wind and it'd be like 25, 35 miles an hour. And my dogs are old rescue dogs. They're not used to that stuff, you know. And then the lady kicking them and stuff. But I couldn't say anything because, you know, she would have kicked us out. Ooh, Crystal Time just put up a video. She is wonderful. She is also part of my dream team. So it's Zach K. Hubbard, Key Jin, Crystal Time, and Jesse Zaboter. They should all frickin' talk and they would figure it all out. Yep. That'd be a great combo mix. But somebody recommended a channel for me I like when people recommend things to me. And somebody recommended, where is it? I will check it out. Children of its Resolute here. That's why I took a screenshot. Thanks, Davita Jenkins, for that. Yep. So, and then someone else, I can't remember who, but they recommended, because I'll look at the, they recommended that I look up some of the names of the people that Kijin does in Gematria. I'm gonna try my own, they call them decodes. I'm gonna try and see if, because I got a way to put stuff together myself. You know? So that should be kind of interesting. But I don't know. I've been doing that stuff. Unbeknownst to me, because we used to code like that when we were kids. We thought we were clever. We thought we came up with it, you know? When people come up with it. Nobody ever made their own codes when they were kids to pass notes so nobody could understand them. People didn't do that? Well, they do. And they always have. And then we'll continue to do so, so you might as well learn how to decipher that shit. Oh, Mom. So, I think that's about all I got for today. I just am super... It just did my heart good to go out and be amongst nature. And this little walk that we did, it was just like on a trail. We went up and around. And just, it smells so good. The pinyon pines... They smell so, it's just, oh, I love nature, and I wish they'd stop messing with it. They're just mad because they can't, see, humans are just mad because they can't freaking make things as wonderful and glorious and beautiful as freaking nature. God can, you know? They keep trying. I mean, they've been taking the principles of physics and their ideas from birds and making fighter jets and stuff out of it. The whole time, you know, no idea is a new idea. It always comes from something, It always either comes, new ideas come from necessity, you know. But when people have everything they need all the time and get everything they want all the time, there's ever need for necessity, so people don't know how to solve their own problems because usually somebody else is there to fix it for them. Huh? Yeah, that's what I found. So I was talking to the guys that were out working on the pump. You know, people just, they don't know how to think, but where are they going to learn how to think? Well, I found that when you make mistakes, you learn. Don't do that again. These are the consequences of that action. Course of action, path, trajectory, not doing that leads me to go act like this, you know? But people don't do that. People don't do what's good for themselves. They don't. Most people on the earth plane are just chasing sensations, you know? I've been there. I understand. I can relate. You get to a point, if you get to live on this earth long enough, that chasing sensations and freaking hooking up and doing all this, you know, it leaves people empty inside. I'm hearing all these reports about how, you know, that's why I'm like, yeah, 7 billion people, my ass, because people aren't having kids. You know, they aren't. People are having kids. That is not a literal term. They're not having kids in the way that they once had kids, when people were just having kids all over the place. You know what But all these things happen in cycles, and a lot of them are really predictive if you just, you know, kind of study the course of astrology. It's so telling. It's so telling. So, things are starting to happen for us, Ma. I feel like Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt. Things are going to happen for me. I feel great. Of course, he freaking, you know, the guy that played it turned into a freaking weird guy, too. But what do you do? You know, you got to appreciate the aspects of people that have been positive in your life. Because there's so many that just aren't. There's a lot of people that aren't good examples on how to live. You know? Well, one of the things I like to do on this talk is I like to talk to people of all ages and tell them things that I wish I would have known when I was a kid. Yeah. Useful information. You know? I had a speech impediment, and but I was a real determined child. Huh, Ma? Yeah, and so I would kind of go, I always course through life navigated by my own north as a compass, you know. I was never mean and, you know, hurt things and stuff like that, you know, but I was one of those wild childs, you know, that people couldn't control. And then they put me in school and they're like, sit still. What's that? I can't sit still. What? You know, don't move. You know, and then so the very, you know, people would always try to I call it behavior modification. It's controlling. They just always kind of try and control me. And I'd go along for a little while, but once people saw that, okay, she's obedient, then they'd take advantage. And then they'd ask things of me that they don't ask other people. And then that's when I get freaking ticked off and things change. Dynamics change. You know? Because when I might be a clown, but I'm not a fool. You know? I don't like it. So, you know, it's not real good to tell me not to do things. Because I'm contrarian. So all the cells in me just go, it's just gonna happen. Whatever people, you know, and if people, they don't even have to say to me, don't do that. I'll just know it. And I'll end up doing that one thing that they don't want me to do. Just don't think of things that you don't want me to do, and then I won't do them. Right? I'm like, never mind. Anyway. What else? Yeah, so because we're living in Oregon, I didn't have running water, and I know how much it sucks. You know, it's cool that whenever I have an opportunity to be in service, because it helps me stay out of my own head when I'm times where I'm thinking about myself or things I want too much that aren't in the present moment. You know, God gives me an opportunity to help other people. And today, I got to go to a gas station and find out where they give out free air because I gave a guy a ride to get some water for because people don't have running water, so he's filling jugs, and I know what that's like. So, you know, that's the thing. It's like I see all these spiritualists, all these people like the Leo Cub. That guy makes my third eye twitch. I like his. I'll listen to him just to see if he's going to talk crap about Michael the Peace Dealer because they were few. I think they're past it. I think they're both past it now. But that was pretty funny for a while because I'm always Cubs can't be kings. That guy, he ain't never done nothing to get past his own ego, so he's just going to keep excelling through his ego, and that's his life story. Whatever. I just, probably would never hang out with him, and he would probably never hang out with me because we ain't the same frequency. And what was I telling that story for? My eyes burn. My eyes are like dusty. What was I telling that story for? So I listen to people that I don't necessarily like a lot just because, sometimes they have good information. But his information hasn't even been... I haven't, lately that guy, because he was such a little turd about that whole thing... He just revealed himself more, It was just really easy. Cubs can't be kings. But I don't know. I'm always pulled. I think everybody on this planet has the power to change their behavior. So sometimes I'm not as sympathetic as I could be to junkies and stuff like that. Because I'm like, dude, I'm a drunk, and if I can freaking stop doing the shit that freaking toxify me, then anybody can. People don't try. I used to go to meetings. I used to take meetings to the jail to talk about my experience and strength and hope to Pottawatomie County Jail in Council Bluffs, Iowa. I spent a lot of Friday nights there for 7 years, And, because you do it from 7 to 8, and then you could always meet up with people after if you wanted, Which there's always something going on in the fellowship. So I did that, and a lot of these girls, addiction is addiction. When you're putting things outside of yourself into yourself to make you feel better, and you're doing it more than you're not, there's an imbalance. So I'm always checking for where the balances and imbalances is me. It's funny because I have more masculine energy in my astrological chart than I do have feminine energy. And when I am I have periods that I go through talks, and it's my Saturn's active. It's all this stuff's going on, and I'm just people don't like watching my videos when I'm like that. They're not, I lose subscribers. That's why I can't get 1,000, because I always piss people off. Because I'm a contrarian. I'm not agreeable. I mean, I am, but not to the masses. Not to mainstream. So, I don't like that song at all. So what was I saying? Oh, I'm Heiko. Oh, okay. I was talking about taking. I was talking about the girls in the jail and how addiction is addiction. And they're the ones that educated me back in the early 2000s about the federal system. That's why they like that, because they were deporting back then, so it was just a money maker. They would get these. The government would buy these big old huge catered huge buses with air conditioning. and that they would designate probably $250,000 for these buses, and then they would transport one person on it. And they designate all these tens and thousands of dollars for gas, the driver, all this stuff for like one person from Potawatomi County or a couple people, you know. And that it's all this government is money laundering. It's all money laundering. That's all that it is. And there's got to be a consequence, because some gave a lot more than I did. Some gave the ultimate price of their life, and they're playing chess with our souls. And World War III's of the spiritual variety, and the more people live from ego and just go around and do whatever they want, you know, being slothful and lazy and gluttons and all that stuff. And all the good stuff that you're earning and taking in, you just keep it all for yourself. That's not how the earth was supposed to be. People are supposed to give away what they got. You know, I see these like in the local area, these a 6-figure company. You know, I would never be a 6-figure company. I will never be a 7-figure company, because once we get our house, our place, where we can just be, whatever income I get, I will keep 49%, whatever, like contributions and stuff like that, from any future speaking engagements or anything like that I ever do. I will keep 49%, because my birthday's 4/9, and that's a nice number. And I will give 51%, because there's always going to be people that need things way more than me. And all of our basic needs are taken care of. So, you know. So it ain't never been my goal to be a 6-figure company, to nothing, you know. Money is not. My brother is like, tells me my story about, when you're a kid, all you wanted to do, you go to the Air Force or in a trade, make freaking $15-20 an hour, and you were good with that. Yeah, and I still am good with that. But he's not. See, when people have an idea of how you should be living, that creates cognitive dissonance, and oftentimes those relationships don't work. It's unfortunate you got to have them from, But that's just how it is, because we're just spirits having a human experience, checking out this life library. And how we act and how we behave and how we show up to every situation that we've ever encountered. Well, either you're going to grow in ego or you're going to grow in spirit. And I've been through too much to drop the ball. Now, not to say that I never could, because there by the grace of God go I. So, but for today, I'm just trying to be a little bit better than I was yesterday. And then tomorrow, or I'll try and, what was it? I'm going to try and be better than I was yesterday, but not as good as I'm going to be tomorrow. That's what it is. I got stuck up there. So, but I had to go through this long, dark period. It's like if I feel like it's the dark night of the soul for 4 years, but the thing of it is I set it up that I had to heal myself, because I always saw my whole life that people would like get in relationships, or they had kids or whatever, and it like healed them. It's like that love fixed them. And what I had to learn is I had to love myself. And that took me a very long time to do, because I listened to other people's opinions about me for a very long time, but they weren't telling me about me. They were telling me about the character defects in which they had themselves. So when anybody's ever talking crap about you, pay real close attention. Don't take it too personal, and just know that they are telling you all about themselves. And ask yourselves, are these people that you want to know anyway? So the circle is small, but it's growing, and for that I am grateful. It's about all I got for now.